Welcome to Chat with Leaders. Our mission is to give resilient servant leaders a platform for sharing the inspiring things they're doing to lead their teams, customers, and themselves wisely. I'm your host, Jeff Bond, Director of Client Services at AppBerry, where we build custom web and mobile apps. I'm proud to welcome Karen Cramer, VP of Community Impact at TechBridge in Atlanta, as today's guest. Glad to have you, Karen.
Jeff, thanks so much for having me on.
My pleasure. So TechBridge, for those of you who don't know, you should absolutely check them out. It's a wonderful organization, the nonprofit sector, and their mission is to break the cycle of generational poverty through the innovative use of technology to transform nonprofit and community impact. And you oversee the community impact as the vice president, Karen. Tell me a little bit more about how you got into TechBridge and how you started your leadership career.
Well, Jeff, that's a funny story because I didn't have a traditional pathway to TechBridge. I'm not a technologist. I'm actually a social worker and have my master's in social work. And I was working in Atlanta at a large nonprofit and really focused on data collection, data reporting, outcome measurement. And what attracted me to TechBridge was I saw the power of technology to transform my nonprofit. As the data person, I went from swimming in spreadsheets every day to having a client management system for our organization. And it really created a paradigm shift of our case manager said, I'm so grateful for this technology because I get to spend time, more time face-to-face with my clients, which is why I got into this profession. And so I'm very grateful for technology. And then for me to have the ease of reporting, it used to take 2 weeks to do United Way report, and then to have it at the click of a button and at your fingertips, I just thought, oh, there's so much power to transform nonprofits with technology. And I also really liked the vision of TechBridge, which is to alleviate poverty through collective action. And for each nonprofit to know from data what they're good at, what they're not good at, and who are those community organizations that complement what they do, so that we can provide a combination of programs and services to move our community residents out of poverty. So for an example, in the workforce development space, nonprofits were looking at their data and they were saying, we're really good at helping community residents to get jobs, but we're placing them in jobs from minimum wage to $13 an hour. And we know that a mom with 2 kids in Atlanta needs $29 an hour to have a living wage and for housing to be affordable for her. And so I really wanted to come to TechBridge on how can we transform individual nonprofits, but also how can we transform communities by helping nonprofits to better coordinate their services and share data with each other, and look at how can we better, as a system, move families out of homelessness and poverty.
I love that, and I think that the best stories of diving into leadership and a new venture are ones where you kind of stumble into it because it's a combination of passion and purpose and your social work background, and your life has really been dedicated towards serving others. And so I see that passion with you every day, and it's wonderful to see in your leadership. You talked a little bit about the workforce development, and you had shared with me a little bit more about TechBridge's technology career program to help underserved communities, and right now with an unprecedented unemployment rate in the recovery phase of COVID-19, I imagine that's going to be more important than ever. Tell me a little bit more about the technology career program that you're involved with.
Oh, sure, I'd be glad to. So TechBridge is proud that in 2020, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary, and we are a nonprofit that was founded by the technology community to be the philanthropic arm of the technology community to give back to nonprofits and help them with capacity building. So we transform nonprofits every day, and we've been doing that for 20 years. We're the rare nonprofit that we enjoy a lot of sponsorship from the technology community and the corporate community. And we were hearing from our technology community prior to the pandemic that we have all these jobs available, and we're really struggling to find community residents that have the skill set to meet job demand and industry demand. And we thought that was interesting at TechBridge because we served a lot of social services providers, and we knew that they were serving a lot of underserved, unemployed, underemployed community residents. And we thought, how can we improve this system to be able to match community residents with the jobs that are available? And we looked at the landscape of job training programs and felt that we as a community could be doing more to help train residents in tech skills that are relevant now, but also future-proof for the future. And so with the rise of the pandemic, we are really looking at jobs that you're going to have to be able to work remotely. You're going to have to be able to provide your services virtually. And the rise of automation is coming up. Accenture has been doing a lot of good work on the future of work, and we really need to teach our community residents to work alongside robots. I saw in a BBC article the other day that the first robot is installed at an LA burger joint and is like sitting there flipping the burgers. And that is the future that we're going to have to prepare for. We have lost so many jobs in this pandemic, and we need, and some of those people might not regain those jobs. And so having tech skills and being able to work remotely is so important. And so that's why we started our technology career program at TechBridge. We were really good at training populations that had technical aptitude to get practical tech job skills. We have a 4-month technical instruction, and then we provide placement and employment for 12 months for the students that go through our technology career program. And we're literally changing lives. We literally have students that used to work at Walmart, used to couch surf and live on friends and neighbors' couches, and now they're working at NCR, now they're working at Elevon. They're making really good wages. They're able to go back and finish their bachelor's degree, and they're able to work remotely during this pandemic. So I really feel like we've saved their lives because they are able to take care of themselves and sometimes even take care of family members and the larger community through this pandemic. So I think as a region, we really need to focus on those opportunities and this new normal.
I agree, and how fulfilling of work that is, so purpose-led, and to have that impact, and the workforce is changing before our very eyes. If anything has happened as a result of the pandemic, is it's forced us into this innovative thinking, and how do we rethink our workforce, and repurposing people's skills, and developing their skills, and in a lot of odd ways. That's something to be thankful for, because it kind of thrusts everyone, it forces them to change and to think about that differently. And something that I found in economic decline is that a lot of the times nonprofits will tighten their purse strings, and they'll reduce their budget a little bit in technology. But I think it's probably important now more than ever that they double down, on their technology budgets, and maybe cut in different areas if they're to focus on that. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yes. In previous economic downturns, nonprofits would look at what can we cut from our budget, and they're very personnel heavy and they don't want to cut their personnel. And so they would say, okay, we'll cut in technology and marketing. And in this new normal, they can't. They have to make even more investments in technology and marketing. And so at TechBridge, we've been busier than ever serving our nonprofits in the community and trying to help them transition to the cloud, helping them get cloud-based applications for email and document collaboration and storage, helping them get donor management systems and client management systems. And nonprofits are going to have to embrace this technology to be able to be sustainable going forward. And one nonprofit I'm really proud of that I feel has done really well in pivoting since the pandemic is Raising Expectations. They're a youth development organization on the west side of Atlanta. They have been serving students and their families for the past 25 years, and are really organization of trust and people of trust in the community. And with this pandemic, they've really embraced Maslow's hierarchy of needs and said, okay, we need to take care of food security for our students and their families. Let's focus on that. But then they've also focused on what they do every day. They run an amazing after school program and summer camp, and they moved all of their services virtually. So they've even expanded their programming by focusing on food security and case management for families, helping them meet their basic needs, and then doing what they really excel at is youth development organization and raising expectations for their students. And so nonprofits really can pivot, but I think they had a couple years where they really did embrace technology and data and how can it transform their organization. And I feel like they're thriving in this new normal. So super proud of them.
I'm proud of that too. And I've seen so many organizations, particularly in the nonprofit sector, like that in the Atlanta Community Food Bank. We had Kyle Wade, CEO, on the show the other day. I mean, just people that are doing remarkable things in this time of social distancing, and they've again been forced into it. And I think now more than ever we have such a need out there to serve our community. And I love that that's your life purpose, and we need you more than ever. So we're thankful for your leadership, Karen.
Thanks,
And
Jeff.
in this time too, I'm curious how your team and how, I know you work with lots of people at TechBridge, and lots of people are involved in projects. There's a lot of collaboration. How are you guys embracing the remote kind of culture and the differences that that creates versus being in the same space and really executing these mission critical projects?
We found as a TechBridge team, it was really easy for us to start to work remotely. Many of our staff worked remotely. We're a national organization and we have staff located throughout the country. And so some of them were really used to working remotely. Me, I'm the people person. I'm out at every community event. I miss hugging everybody, but we've worked really well remotely. And I think one thing helps is having these video calls, getting to see each other face to face. So we've been able to do all of our services for nonprofits virtually. We took our technology career program virtually. And then we're trying to support our organizations even more strongly. And so you brought up food security, and our biggest nonprofit that we work with at TechBridge is Feeding America. And we run the logistics network that moves, in good times, 500 million pounds of food from the corporations that donate the food to food banks, to food pantries, to people in need. And so food security has become even more important. And so many of our food banks are working 6-7 days of operations. I know Atlanta Community Food Bank is having to invest heavily in purchasing food for the community because the supply chain has been disrupted. And then we're even hearing from the small partner agencies like the cooperative ministries that said, Karen, we are having the people that we served in the previous economic downturn in 2008 and 2009 return to us. They haven't been here in 10 years, but they are back and the need is enormous. And so TechBridge is really trying to lean in and help our nonprofits, especially address food security during these times.
How can people be helping TechBridge at this time? So if they're in the tech sector or they're in the community in Atlanta, what are ways in which other people can serve TechBridge and pitch in to help you execute your missions and be successful at them?
At TechBridge, we really embrace skilled volunteerism. So that if there are tech companies and if they have less work or less projects at this time and they'd like to help us with supporting some of our platform applications or supporting some of our nonprofits and utilizing the tech skills that they use every day for the benefit of TechBridge and our nonprofits, we'd welcome that involvement. I would also say for our technology career program, we have a new cohort of students that are graduating next month. And so if employers do have openings and they're looking for amazing students with technical aptitude and ability to come to work for their company, we would be glad for you to invest in their lives because it is really life transforming, our technology career program.
Terrific. What inspiration or call to action would you have for leaders out there today, whether they're in the nonprofit sector or not? How are they navigating this time of crisis and recovery from the pandemic and continuing to forge ahead faithfully? What advice would Karen Cramer have for them?
That's a really good question, Jeff. I would say, I said in the beginning, I'm a people person and I love getting to have coffee and talking to nonprofits and communities about their challenges and needs. And I really miss that. But I think this is also an opportunity for us to connect. I know if I have an hour-long call, the first 15 minutes are always like, Jeff, how are you doing? How is your family doing? How is your company doing? And I feel like people are connecting and opening up and building trust more than they did in the past. And I would say with parenting, we're all trying to work from home. We're trying to parent. I have 2 girls that are in 4th grade and 1st grade and trying to adjust to virtual learning and not apologizing for being a parent and, welcoming that in your teammates and with your colleagues of we do have lives and we're better off if we bring our whole self into work. And so, I feel like people have opened up more. They're parenting children with special needs. They have lost family members. They have lost colleagues and friends, and really just being more human and connecting. And this is just a unique time in leadership and in our country. And so just bring your whole self to work, especially in these times, and connect as much as possible.
I'll say amen to that. And I don't even know if it's come through in the audio, but my kids have been banging around upstairs, and I'm unapologetic for that either. They're just going through their normal routine, and we're all having to work from home right now. So thank you for that validation. How would people get a hold of you or learn more about TechBridge, Karen?
So our website is techbridge.org, and on Twitter, we're at I am TechBridge, IAM TechBridge, and love for you to connect with us.
Great. Well, we'll be posting this show onto our website, chatwithleaders.com, as well as our social media handles at chatwithleader on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I haven't gotten on Instagram yet. I got to figure that one out, but we'll get there at some point. If you have any suggestions on how we can continue to improve the show or add more value, email myself, Chris, Tim at info@chatwithleaders.com. Karen, it's such a gift as always to be chatting with you. Thank you so much for your gift of time today.
Jeff, thanks so much for the opportunity. So great to connect with you today.